Louisiana Beer Reviews looks at Berliner Weisse, product of Germany ale. Product of Germany ale. Imported by the United International, Reading, Connecticut, United States of America. Bayrischer Bahnhof's interpretation of the Berliner Weisse is a slightly softer, more mellow version with a beautiful balance of tartness, fruitness, and sweetness. Bayrischer Bahnhof. Okay, so it's a old train station. It was reopened for business in the year 2000, and they have different shops there and whatnot. And one is called Gasthaus and Goes Brewery, and it's in Leipzig, Germany. 3% alcohol, 5 European bitterness components. It's 52% wheat malt and 48% Pilsner malt. They use Hallertau, Premiant, and Norbrauer hops. Premiant and Norbrauer hops. Lactic bacteria is also used, and yeast. It gets a good score on Beer Advocate. So they're saying it's a B. It's good. Rate Beer says 67 out of 100 and only 38 out of 100 for this style. I bought this at Stein's Deli on Magazine Street in New Orleans, Louisiana. It says Ostradischen Privat, Gebrochen nach dem Reinheitsgebot. Alright. Well, at 3% alcohol, in America, that is bordering on a non-alcoholic beer, let's be frank. It's windy, it's dry, low humidity, with a little cool front coming through here in late August. Now, from what I can gather, this beer is only produced for the U.S. market. I don't think it's actually sold at the restaurant and brew house. Now, in this style, which they say was invented by the Huguenots, these Calvinists of La France, they said Napoleon would drink it when he was invading Germany, but he wanted them to add the syrup. So they add flavorings, and they do sell those fancy syrups like strawberry syrup at Mathern's, like Old Comiskey syrup made in New Orleans, Louisiana. But I'm gonna have it without all that. But Napoleon said it was too bitter for him. But they said it's like a Berliner Weisse, but it's not actually. It's in the style of it. Pretty thick white head, so pale, so straw, so slightly bubbly, but mostly clear, and I don't see much sediment. I was getting a lot more sediment in the grain belt northeast, and I have to tell you, that beer got worse as I drank it. It started very good, and then I was drinking it, it was good, and then it was like, sometimes it happens. The more you drink it, the less you like it. But usually it's the opposite for me. The more I drink on it, the more I like it. Smells a little sour, but it's mostly just like bread. Sourdough bread. Yes. And like maybe milk, like lactic acid, but I want you to hear. There's sediment galore down here. But I wouldn't maybe say milk or lactic acid if I didn't know what it was, The power of suggestion. Like when I was at Michael Komaroff's house in Brooklyn, New York. He was saying, try this beer. And I said, what is it? I could tell it was an IPA because it was orange. And he's like, I can't tell you, you just guess. And I'm drinking it, I'm like, wow, it's a really good IPA. He says, but do you notice anything extra in it? And I kept saying, no, not really. And then when he showed it to me, I said, grapefruit sculpin. I said, I never picked up the slightest hint of grapefruit in it. So sometimes when you get these ideas planted in your head, you'll think about them, whereas otherwise you wouldn't think about it. So that's what I'm saying about the lactic. I may never pick it up. if I didn't know beforehand. Well, I do know beforehand, so. All right. Oh man, this fizziness. This head is not going to last, and I don't think it's going to leave much lacing. I gotta admit, the Northeast left a lot of lacing, but then the flavor left a lot to be desired. So let's see. So, whoo! No more clear. It went from clear to opaque, and to a yellowish, lemon yellow thing. Wow, that is really strange. So spare me a little, spare me a little, spare me a little of your beer. More of this creaminess is coming out. Not so much like lactic acid, but like cream. Really unique. Well, I guess it couldn't be really unique. It's either unique or it isn't unique. Whew. That is tart. If you don't like tart, then be smart and don't drink this beer. Winga. Oh, you know, it's Halloween and they throw you that little roll of candies. They're like semi-soft, semi-hard, a little powdery. You eat them. This is what they are like. I mean, this is, if you want beer that tastes like a tart candy, go for it. I can see how a lot of people would just hate this beer. No, it is not my style. I never say to myself, hey, I want to drink a sour beer. I just don't. But it exists. I wanted to try it, and it's really good. And I don't think it's going to get worse as I drink it. I think it's going to get better. There is fruitiness in it. They say there's a hint of like, what they say, strawberry or raspberry, something like that. There really is that hint. You would think they have fruit in it, but they do not. But you might think that you could fool people. Well, oh boy, I gotta save some. So it's an A- at the minimum. I'm gonna say, I'll be conservative. A-. It's an excellent beer, no doubt. No doubt, my friends. So, Le Bon Temps Roulé, an A- beer from Germany. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to Ants, New Orleans.